Hi everyone, my name is Sonia Chan, and today you will be learning some valuable information on how you can build healthy habits and begin to take control of your weight. First off, I would like to introduce a little of my background. I graduated from Sacramento State in 2014, where I studied nutrition and food. After graduating with my bachelor's degree, I became certified as a personal trainer and as a nutrition and wellness consultant, and I continuously worked as a weight loss consultant and personal trainer since then. And I am currently studying applied nutrition at the University of New England. As I worked more in the field of nutrition and weight loss, my passion really grew, and this subject is something that just stuck with me because I am passionate about it. My goal is to help the movement in reducing the rate of obesity and helping others live their fullest potential. At the end of this seminar, you will be able to describe the risk factors of obesity. So in other words, you will have an understanding of the underlying causes of obesity. Also, at the end of the seminar, you will be able to identify and describe your personal causes of weight gain, and you will begin to set your personal goals. What is obesity? So first off, it's important to have a clear understanding of what obesity is. So simply put, obesity is when your body weight is higher than what is considered to be healthy for your age, your weight, and your height. Your body mass index, or BMI, shortly put, is a common screening tool that's used for obesity. So as you can see here, this is a body mass index table. It does make things a bit simpler to check for your BMI. Typically, a formula is used, which is weight in kilograms divided by your height in meters squared. But as an example from this chart, you can see that it goes by weight in pounds and height in inches. So if you are, say, 5 feet, 4 inches tall, that would be 64 inches. So you would put your finger at the category, you would put your finger at 64 inches. Then you would slide your finger to what your weight and your closest weight is. Then you can see the category that puts you in. So for an example, if you are 64 inches and 134 pounds, that would put you in a normal range. And likewise, if you are 64 inches and 221 pounds, that would put you in the obese category. It's important to know, though, that health from the inside out is what we should really be focusing on, not so much on appearance or anything superficial. To me, it's important to understand the statistics of obesity in the United States. So more than 1/3 of adults are obese in the United States. About 1 in every 3 adults are considered to be obese. And the estimated yearly medical costs in the United States alone for obesity is about $147 billion. Those numbers are pretty shocking. Just imagine if we didn't have those medical costs altogether or reduce them. It's a major health issue here, and we want to do everything we can to really get those numbers down, prevent, and treat obesity altogether. And more importantly, we want to have more people living a healthy, real quality of life. The 3 major factors that contribute to weight gain and obesity are energy imbalance, nutrition, and physical activity. When the amount of energy you're putting into your body, in other words, the amount of food that you're consuming, when that rises too much above the amount of energy that you're letting out of your body by working out and being active, that leads to weight gain. So basically, when total energy in exceeds the total energy out, weight gain occurs. Okay, so energy imbalance. Again, when you eat and drink more calories than you're burning calories, weight gain occurs. When this continuously happens, that's where you begin to see overweight and obesity. So everyone has different caloric needs, or in other words, different recommendations for the amount of food that you should be consuming daily. This goes by whether you are male or female, your age range, and the amount of physical activity you're getting in daily. I want to go over each age range and calorie recommendation so you can pinpoint which one you are at. So for women, if you're 18 and sedentary, you are recommended 1,800 calories per day. And sedentary means that you are getting little to no exercise. If you're 18 and moderately active, your recommended amount is 2,000 calories per day. Moderately active means that if you do not exercise, you get less than about 2.5 hours each week of moderate aerobic activity. And I will be going over aerobic activity in just a little bit. And also, if you're 18 years old and active, your recommendation is 2,400 calories per day. Active means that you are working out more vigorously for about 1 hour and 15 minutes each week. It's important to understand that physical activity should be spread throughout the week. And just quickly, if you're a woman 19 to 25 years old, and you're sedentary, your recommendation would be 2,000 calories. If you're moderately active, it'd be 2,200 calories. And if you're active, 2,400 calories. And if you're 26 to 30 years, if you're sedentary, 1,800 calories, moderately active, 2,000 calories, and active, 2,400 calories. And if you are 31 years, 35 years of age, if you're sedentary, your recommendation would be 1,800 calories per day. If you're moderately active, 2,000 calories per day, and if you're active, 2,200 calories per day. So it's really important to pay attention to the age and the amount of physical activity you're getting in per day. And then for men, it's a little bit different. You can see that it's a bit higher. So you can see for men 18 years who are sedentary, it's 2,400 calories per day recommendation. Moderately active, 2,800, and active, 3,200. If you are male 19 to 20, your recommendation is 2,600 calories if you're sedentary, 2,800 calories if you're moderately active, and 3,000 calories if you are active. And 21 to 25 years, 2,400 calories if you're sedentary, 2,800 calories if you're moderately active, and 3,000 calories if you are active. And lastly, if you're 26 to 35 years, if you are sedentary, your recommendation is 2,400 calories. If you're moderately active, it's 2,600 calories, and active, 3,000 calories. So again, sedentary is when you're getting little to no exercise. Moderate is where you're getting less than 2.5 hours each week, or 150 minutes. And active is where you're getting about 1 hour and 15 minutes of vigorous physical activity each week. And vigorous, again, is more high intensity exercises. It's recommended that you get at least 150 minutes, or which is also 2.5 hours of moderate intensity physical activity each week. The intensity of physical activity is the rate at which the activity you're performing, or the magnitude of the effort that's required to perform your activity or exercise. In other words, it is how hard you work to do the activity. Keep in mind, intensity levels can be different for each person, and the more you do engage in physical activity, the more you will be able to turn up the intensity. Some examples of moderate intensity physical activity are walking briskly, biking, playing tennis, gardening, which actually does get your heart rate up, and water aerobics. Those are just some examples of how you can get started, but there are other ways to go about it, of course. Other than energy imbalance, nutrition, and physical activity, there are other factors that do play a part in obesity. These include behavior, genetics, environment, and income. So, do you tend to sit down and watch TV a lot? Do you find yourself reaching for candy when you're bored? Do you eat out often? Do you drive to nearby places because it's convenient? What types of food are you purchasing? Do they contain high fats and high sugars? Do you feel that you can't afford to eat healthy? So questions like that you should really ask yourself. Most of these factors are controllable, but it's just a matter of pinpointing what is relevant to you so you can work on it. For everyone, no matter age and sex, there are certain recommendations we should all follow to maintain a wholesome food plan. This includes the correct amount of fruits, vegetables, whole grains, and fat-free or low-fat milk products. Lean meats, poultry, fish, beans, eggs, and nuts are all recommended. You really want a low amount of saturated fat, a low amount of trans fat, salt or sodium, and added sugars in your meal plan. And most of the time you would see on the food labels that you just have to really look at the labels and see that the content doesn't have it. You want to look for less sodium or no added sugars to avoid those extra calories. And it's also important to stay within your daily caloric needs because as we went over already, if you are exceeding your caloric needs more than you're burning your calories, weight gain will occur. Okay, food group recommendations. The recommendation for each food group is different for each person depending on your age, height, sex, and physical activity level. The food groups are fruits, vegetables, grains, proteins, dairies, and fats or oils. But it's still important to stay within your calorie limits. So these recommendations may differ depending on your calorie recommendation. If you want to pinpoint your personal caloric recommendation as well as your food group recommendations broken down by each group, there are online tools that can easily help you do that. You want to make sure that you're getting this information from a credible source since your health is so important. You don't want to go into, listen to people who don't really have that credibility or, have that nutrition background. ChooseMyPlate.gov is a great resource to find out your caloric recommendations and food group recommendations broken down. So this is really what the homepage looks like. So what you would do is go to ChooseMyPlate.gov and then you would go to the online tools tab and click where it says Super Tracker. In this screenshot here, healthy eating style is highlighted, but you can see Super Tracker to the right of that next to the physical activity tab. When you get to that page, you get to create a profile where you put in your age, sex, physical activity level, height, and your weight. And once you submit that, you'll be able to see your recommendations, and there are a ton of resources and really helpful advice. Many people don't know or don't realize this, but the types of food you choose, not only calories, are extremely important for avoiding weight gain, especially age-related. As you know, or as you now know, weight gain is the result of imbalance of energy. So an imbalance of how much energy you are taking in and how much you're expending. Even small amounts of weight gain or excess weight can increase your risk for certain disorders like cardiovascular or heart disease, diabetes, metabolic syndrome, and cancer. But going back to what I was saying, the types of foods that you choose really do affect your weight as well. Food choices such as sugar-sweetened drinks, potato chips, processed meats, unprocessed red meats, they're all linked to weight gain. There's research and studies that show that highly processed foods don't satisfy hunger as well as less processed or higher fiber foods, and this is what contributes to a higher intake of calories. Just to show you how much calories you can be adding to your food pattern by choosing certain food choices, I created this chart here. You can see here that the average amount of calories in a glass of milk is about 150 calories versus just about 80 calories if you were to choose low-fat or fat-free milk. A slice of cake alone can be about 200 calories for a basic cake, but for a more decadent cake, it can even go up to even 400 to 600 calories per slice. A 20-ounce regular soda can contain 200 to 320 calories, depending on the brand. A medium size of McDonald's French fries are 340 calories, and the largest, bigger amount of 510 calories. One glass of wine alone is about 122 calories. So you get the gist here. Your food choices definitely can impact your weight. And so rather for going